Well, hey now, let me turn on some lights. Turn on some lights. Turn on some lights. Good morning, y'all. It's Friday morning. Friday morning. I'm on the 5-minute chart, checking out what SPX is doing right now at the beginning of the day. It is 67.44 right now. Done a little bit of dipping and moving. And a little bit of dipping, dipped all the way down to 67. What's the low here? 67.29 is where it went down to. Up to 67.44 right now. Done a little bit of moving. Let's see what kind of comments we got. Somebody telling me good morning already, probably. Hey, Julie. Hey, girlfriend. Good morning. Good morning. Let all the platforms know that we're here on a good Friday. It's been a good week. Prayerfully, your week has been profitable and you won't do. Some people used to have this hashtag like full port Friday. So you would full port, basically put all your money out on Friday. No, we're not. No. First of all, that is so irresponsible. Good morning, Melissa and Tanya. That's a level of irresponsibility that we are not going to operate in, first of all. And if you've made good money on Monday through Thursday, you really could probably take Friday off. Do you know that a lot of times the bigger broker houses and such, they may do some things on Friday morning, but by Friday afternoon, they're not in the market. They may take a good long lunch. They do whatever office celebrations. They may leave early, start their week, their weekends early, head off to wherever because they leave. You know what happens? They leave us little retail traders, us little amateurs in the market on Friday afternoon. They leave the dumb money, as they call it. They leave the dumb money in the market. And you're like, oh, I don't like being called dumb money. And maybe unintelligent money yet. I'm unintelligent money for now. But yeah, I don't want to be called dumb money. But I've been caught in the market on some Friday afternoons. Hey, Sam. I've been in the market on some Friday afternoons. Usually, though, if I'm in the market on a Friday afternoon, again, I have been there. Okay, but generally we've been there. And every time we find ourselves in the market on a Friday afternoon, we're trying to shut down something that we're in. And we're like, here we are on a Friday. Yet again, here we are. And we're trying to close our trades or pray that they work out all right. Or I'm setting trades for the next week. For next week. I'm generally not entering new trades on a Friday afternoon. I'm really just trying to get out of what I'm already in. But that's the nature of a seller too, because as a seller, all of our stuff expire on Friday afternoons. So whatever I can shut down, and this is a good piece of guidance, whatever you can shut down during the week, or anything I can close, when I say shut down, anything you can close before that, like if I can close stuff on Thursday, if I'm in profit, even a little bit, if I can close it on Thursday, I'm gone because I don't want to have to contend with it on Friday because Friday has other things going for me. I'm setting my things for the subsequent week. I may have a 1 DTE I'm closing. The least amount of things I have on Friday to contend with. That's how I'm trying to manage Fridays. Okay. So don't be full port on Friday. That ain't what we do. We don't full port Fridays. Okay. First of all, full port Friday to me is a buyer thing, and we're not buyers anyway. So we don't full port. We don't full port. No. Okay. Exactly, Tanya. Why would you trade all week and make good profits and then on Friday be like, I'm finna ball out? No, that's a good way to ruin the weekend, first of all. And I've ruined several weekends by Friday trades going bad. Not trades that I took on Friday, but let's say I had credit spreads that went bad on Friday. No. So really, honestly, I've used to I tried so hard to just not be in the market at all on Fridays. I've not been as successful, especially now that we're in the membership. We really trade together on Fridays, and I really enjoy this time. So we do end up trading together and enter some trades and stuff like that. And we're exiting trades and then setting up our stuff for the following week. But it's a minimal amount. I'm not full porting. First of all, I ain't full porting on no day. Well, definitely not on a Friday, but no day am I, because I'm not trying to. Again, I feel like that's quite irresponsible. That's quite irresponsible. So anyway, SPX 500 is currently at 67.42. Let's look at what SPX did yesterday. What did it do yesterday? Let's go to the 15-minute chart. So, I want to go to regular SPX. So we can look at how did yesterday go? Okay. Hey, Alicia. Been a minute since I saw you. You doing okay? Okay. Let me turn off some stuff. Well, I'm gonna leave it on because I want to be able to use some of this, some of these indicators to help show you what's going on. Okay. Yesterday opened at looks like 67.63. So it gapped up yesterday morning. It gapped up. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want you to be confused about which things I'm talking about. Okay. Bring this down. There we go. We gapped up yesterday. It gapped up 67.63. Filled the gap. This is yesterday, yes. And it continued to drop down to 67.26. Pulled up a little bit. Excuse me. 67.26 had a little bit of a retrace back to VWAP. This blue line here is VWAP. And remember, price always wants to return to VWAP. It's an average price. Price wants to return to the mean. It's called mean reversion. So it tries to go back to VWAP. It pushes back off of there. VWAP will provide support and resistance. It pulls back down a little bit, but this is still a higher low. Pulls back up to VWAP again. Rejects off of VWAP. Goes down to 67.16. That was the low of the day. The low. The low of the day was 67.16. I believe that's as low as that candle went. 67.16. And then it pulls back up again from this point at 130. It continues on upwards. It did have a little bit of a drawback, but it still had it still stayed up higher than it was at the lowest of the day, 27.16 on up. Now I had 27.15, 67.15, 67.20 as my put credit spread yesterday. And I had entered that back here. I was actually on a 30-minute chart when I saw a failed 2 down, and then price still came down some more. But it came down some more and tried to fill a gap. There was a daily gap that was created from back here. Now, we talked about gaps the other day. There was a gap down here from Tuesday the 7th that was up to Wednesday. This would have been a gap right here. If y'all can see my chart, that would have been a gap that was created. Part of the price action on Wednesday filled the gap, but this is what was left. This part here was left on that gap. And then yesterday's price action, I'm hoping y'all can see the wicks, because that's what you need to be able to see, the wick. Let me turn this off. The wick is what came back in there yesterday. This little orange, I'm not sure if y'all can see that, because let me see if I can make the gap color a little lighter. If I can make the gap a little bit lighter, then you should be able to see it better. make it more opaque. Okay, so you can see there that the wick from yesterday went down about halfway. If I move this line, you can see it went down about, and it dropped right down to that support area. That was a weekly close. This is why, as you're charting, you need to make sure that you're putting on things like the weekly high, the weekly low, weekly open, weekly close. I had previously charted this weekly close at 67.16. We had charted that before. This is one of the things we do in our membership charting. This is why, okay, some of y'all who kind of bucking on that charting thing, this is where you need this learning, right? Price dropped right down to that weekly close price and reversed. This is why these lines matter, right? This is why these lines matter. Okay, so it dropped right down to that, but there's still a little bit of gap left. So if I was to adjust it now, there's a little bit of gap left, but it did drop down to close some more of the gap yesterday. That's why the price came down a little bit more. Let's go back to our 15-minute chart. I wanted to show you where price went on down and got the gap. So I won't say I wasn't as nervous, because listen, my folks was asking me, what gave you the resolve to stay in the trade when your trade was breached? And we used our gamma chart. I knew after Miss Marcia pointed out that we was going after a little bit of a gap, I figured I was okay. The gap I knew stopped at 67.14, and I figured once the gap was filled, it would probably do a little bit of a recovery. It didn't feel all of it. So, anyway, we came back down here and got this little bit, and then we returned and recovered. No problem there. No problem there. And turned on up and went on up from there. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, so, and then it closed yesterday at 67.35. This nice little power hour. Once it starts moving in power hour, this is another little, I'm gonna call it a pro tip, but it's a piece of something we've seen. Once the price starts moving a direction in power hour, it's probably going to continue in that direction. So you got to keep that in mind with whatever trade you're in. Once it starts moving in a direction, it's probably going to keep going. Okay, so that was SPX yesterday. We had a couple trades yesterday, turned out to be profitable. The ones that I alerted in our community were profitable. We had one DTE trade from Wednesday night. We were able to get out of that. It was a call credit spread. We were able to get out of that early, almost full profit. And then we did 2 alerts during the day. Basically, an iron condor, call credit spread 67.50, put credit spread 67.20. Both of those were profitable. And then we got a trade that's overnight from today. This is the kind of stuff we do in the membership. I always talk about that. Not only do we have the trades, we got each other. Okay, having people matters. Hey, Ward. Melissa said, busted, I'm guilty. You guilty about what? Not being on that charting, about minimizing them charts. That charts matter, baby. Them charts matter. Alicia said, thank God it's Friday. Doing well. Thank you. Got a new gig that is getting in the way of my trading. Girl, don't even talk about them new gigs. Happy Friday. Hey, Val. Happy Friday. Yeah. That charting, I'm telling you, Melissa, you're in E2T University, though, aren't you? I think you are. The charting piece, I'm telling you, the foundations of the charting. And I'm going to tell you, for a while, I minimized it. I learned how to chart when I first started training, and I learned it, but I didn't put a lot of weight there. Especially when I started credit spreads. I was like, you don't really need charting that much. I kind of minimized it. And I would make a little bit of money, but then it wasn't going like I wanted it to be going. And was like, what am I missing? I was missing the chart technical analysis. And as I really started to lean into it, I realized that that was the missing piece. Because when you got, I'm going to get off this soapbox because I need to keep moving. When you can analyze charts, there's no strategy that you can't do. That's why in E2T University, I'm taking a lot of time in the charting piece. We've learned support and resistance. We've learned moving averages. We've learned gaps. This week, we're going to learn the strat. Next week, we're going to do VWAP, and we're going to do fair value gaps. We're going to do pivots. We're going to do all those, because once you get how to analyze charts, you can take any strategy. So we don't have to focus on the strategy so much. So we will, obviously, we're going to teach strategy. I'm going to teach multiple strategies that you can use. You can rinse and repeat. You can pick and choose. You can, use a smorgasbord. But we're going to take our time in these charts, because when you can have a strategy, but if you can't chart and you don't know where the price is going, or you got a strategy, you understand how to enter and exit. But if you get shaken out because you can't understand what's happening in the chart, or you get shaken out because price has fallen like yesterday, and you don't realize that the bottom of this gap is going to provide support, that'll run you out. Or that weekly, you need to have that line over here for the weekly close, because that's going to provide support. Or that price is going to try to come back to the VWAP, which you can see on here that the price came back to VWAP 3 times. Price going to try to come back, and it ended right at VWAP. That's the math is always dependable. So if you don't know these things, these are the things that would help direct you in your trading through the day, through the week, through the month. All right. And I'm off the soapbox now, because that's it. But we got a lot of people who trading and putting a lot of money out. And then you'll get mad when it doesn't go well. And I'm people. Okay, just know I've lost a lot of money because I didn't know what I was doing as far as the chart went. I knew how to work a strategy, but didn't know how to analyze a chart. But those days are behind me. All right. We're learning more and more and more every single day. Every single day. Every single day. Okay. So let's go to see what's coming up now. The VIX is at 1651. That's where the VIX is now. The VIX is at 1651 today. All righty. China targets Qualcomm as Trump and Xi talks loom. Beijing's antitrust probe is the latest power play as the fragile U.S.-China trade truce nears its end. Well, let's hope so. Gold recovers 4,000. Silver powers on toward the record. Yes, silver. Everybody talking about gold, but silver is just as important to be talked about. Them precious metals, gold and silver. U.S. stock futures stuck on pause as shutdown drags on. Y'all, come on, y'all. Between all these big power heads, y'all come up with some solutions for us. Delta's premium play pays off. Retail crowd beats the S&P 500. Qualcomm falls as China opens antitrust probe. I need to find out what that really means. What's that talking about? Somebody who knows, who can tell me real quick what they're talking about with the antitrust probe and Qualcomm. Give me a little quick blurb in the comments. A world awaits blowback as the Nobel slips from Trump's hands. Applied Digital soars as revenue beat. Oh my, Applied Digital. What did I do? I think I gotta go check, because I put a call credit spread on my APLD yesterday, and if it bopped a lot, it might run right on through. China tightens checks on NVIDIA AI chips at major ports. Okay. Well, there's that update on the main thing on Yahoo Finance. Yep, Adnan, you do need to join us, especially if charting is not your strong suit. When you get to where you're trading and you're starting to trade bigger size, you need to be even more precise. Your precision needs to increase. As your size increases, your precision has to increase. Because you can't just be relinquishing collateral and capital on a hope and a prayer. You need to be able to see for yourself. Dow futures is up. S&P futures, NASDAQ futures, all those are up. Oil and 10-year bonds are down. Stock futures are little changed after S&P 500, NASDAQ pullback from record highs. Okay, that's what's happening in the U.S. Europe is all red. European defense stocks slide amid Middle East peace deals, rare earths squeeze. In Asia, we got all red except for the Nifty 50. All right, let's see what crypto looking like. Crypto is all green today. Bitcoin is at 121,000. Ethereum 43.47. Solana 221. Dogecoin 0.25. And XRP 282. Trump's Fed chair candidates list narrowed down to 5 by Bessent after interviews. Fed Governor Waller sees more rate cuts, but says central bank needs to be cautious about it. China retaliates against U.S. port fees with new charges on American ships. Oh, okay. China like, y'all want to charge us to come? We're going to charge y'all to come too. Lordy, 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 lordy. Qualcomm shares fall after China opens antitrust probe into the U.S. chip giant. Okay, that's where that is going. Okay, let's move on from there. The calendar for today, it's Friday. Goolsby is speaking at 9:45. The University of Michigan stuff. Now look, they was downplaying University of Michigan stuff a little while back, and it was had become orange, even though it used to be red all the time. Now that we don't have that other data, all the other data that we don't have because the government is shut down. Now the University of Michigan inflation stuff is red. We need this data because our other data, we don't have it. Muslim is speaking at 1 o'clock. This data is coming out at 10. All right. As usual, as I always say, and I will say every day we get on this call and any other call, and every time my people are with me, is we're going to trade what we see. We are in tenuous times. Tenuous times. You need to trade what you see and trade for a short of a time that you can handle, or trade shares. We're going to spend some time talking in E2T University about trading shares, because when you're trading shares, they're yours till you get rid of them. You're trading options, you got a time horizon you got to worry about. You got to worry about Greeks. You got to worry about other stuff. But when you're trading shares, you buy them, they're yours. And you get money one for one. You gain money one for one. You lose money one for one. And now so many brokers allow you to buy trades. Oh, goodness. I'm looking at Janae. I say, oh, goodness, because I know I don't have a 37. I don't think I have 37. I don't think I had 37 as my, I don't think 37 was my my cover call. With shares, so many brokers allow you to buy shares in partials. So you don't have to buy a whole share of something. You can buy a dollar amount of shares and then sell that same dollar amount, of shares. You don't have to buy. Yep, it's in the money. It sure is. I had a 33 covered call and it's at 37. Lord of mercy. Well, I guess if I let my 100 shares go, at least I'm going to double up my money because I have them at $16. So I wondered, yesterday when I was entering that trade, I was like, why are these premiums so nice? I was asking myself, why are these premiums so good? I was wondering, because it was like, I entered it yesterday for today, and I was way up as far as, I was like 90%. It was like 10 delta, so 90% probability of success, and it was like $100 in premiums. I was like, why are these premiums so high? I asked myself that question. I still pushed the button though, because I was like, ooh, I thought about going out next week, but then I was like, I'm just going to do it for tomorrow. These premiums is so good. But you know what though? I did not do a covered call on my shares that were in my Robinhood. So those are going to be safe. But wow, APLD, don't play with them. 37.41. Okay, stay on track, girlfriend. Will Trump appoint someone from Fox News Award? Goodness. Hey, Drew. I ain't see you in here. Hey, Wink. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Okay, this is our meetings for today. Let me go see if anything else is on investing.com that we missed. Goolsby University. Now, they over here, University of Michigan only gets 2 stars, but at Forex it gets 3. Sometimes they don't agree with the volatility anticipated. And then the rig counts is there. Okay, let's go see what Adam had to say. Go see what Adam had to say this merchant. Yesterday saw another micro dip, baby, dip. baby dip. Created the typical panic and set up another buy. 67.30 reclaim triggered up as posted with 67.38, 67.50 target. We got to 49 overnight. Plan today. Still just chopped for last week. 67.38, 67.30 held exact overnight. They equal support. 67.38, 67.30 are supports. Put those on your chart. Okay, put those on your chart. 67.38 and 30 are supports. 67.50, 61 and 63 are next going up. 67.50, 61 and 63 are next going up. And there's a dip if it gets below 67.30. All righty. There's a dip if it gets below 67.30. The gap between ES and SPX is currently 44 points. The dip between those two is 44 points. So if you're looking at Adam's tweets, if you're on Twitter, you're following Adam, which we do follow Adam throughout the day. I go check over there, especially if the price is starting to move around crazy and I'm wondering where it's going. I'll go see what Adam has to say. Actually, his tweets pop up as notifications for me. So I can see. I don't always go look at them because I'm usually teaching during the day, but they do pop up as notifications for me. So I'll go see what he's saying if I need to. But if you're watching them, you know, when you want to subtract 44 points from his numbers so that you can see the SPX numbers. If you're trading XSP, at this point, the range is from 673 to 677. All right. Janae says at least the sentiment data comes from Michigan until he attacks them. Well, I'm going to go with that. That's the truth, too. The truth and nothing but the truth. Okay, so that's Adam. Let's go back to the charts. Let's go back, look at our indices. We got about 30 minutes before the market opens. Got about 30 minutes until the market is open. Okay, this is SPY. Trying to see where we are. I got it big, so I can't see the close of yesterday. Let me get more time on here so I can put, let me turn off some stuff because it's too much on my chart. There we go. A few less things. I need those things when I'm analyzing. I don't need them when I'm checking with y'all. Oh, I need to change my all-time high. All-time high line because all-time high is now up here, 674. 674 is the all-time high on SPY at this point, and this gap, when it was created, is now filled. Okay, so currently SPY is at 671.84. Yesterday, SPY closed at 673. Nope, sorry, that's not there. Wrong place. Closed yesterday at 671.18. So we're about 60 cents, 70 cents above where it closed yesterday. A little bit of a gap up at this point. Again, we're about 30 minutes from market opening. Closed yesterday, SPY did at 671.18. It's currently at 671.87. Coming right up into the 50-period moving average. It's above the 9 and the 20 and the 200. The 9, the 50, and the 200. 920. It's above the 9, the 20, and the 200. It is below the 50. Okay, so that's SPY. Let's go look at Triple Q. The Qs. Triple Q closed yesterday at 610.73. It is currently at 611.28, so about 50 cents. About 50 cents above where it closed yesterday. A minute gap up at this point. IWM closed yesterday at 245.12. It's currently at 245.72, so about 60 cents higher than it closed yesterday. Not too much. Not too much, right? Okay, about 60 cents, not too much. Looking for the free resources from E2T. I got some free resources. I got a whole page full. We hadn't talked about them in a while, so I'm mentioning them today. E2T-freebies.com. If it's been a minute since I mentioned them, so maybe you've heard me, maybe you forgot, maybe you're new here. E2T-freebies. You can come to this page. The top thing is 3 things to check before you trade. One of the key things, especially for those people who we were talking about charting earlier, right? You got to chart your way to 100K charting cheat sheet, and you've got a free charting webinar. I created a webinar here. It's about 30-40 minutes. You can go here and watch this free webinar that I created that's going to give you a good little foundation in charting. It includes how to chart, what about the charting, some indicators. It's really good. It's really more than good. It's a really great free webinar that you can go grab hold right here, right? Get you started on charting, right? 7 mistakes traders make that keep them from making 7 figures. I've made all of them, which is why I could write a document. 0 DTE strategy cheat code for those who like to trade 0 DTEs. If you're just starting with options, stock options for beginners, a quick start guide. If you don't know what strategy is a strategy you should try, here we go. The best strategy for your personality and 5 hacks for trading SPX. If you want to join my communities, we've got the membership, which is a paid community. I've got a Facebook group, which is a free Facebook group. You can join that. I have a Telegram group that is also I have a free one and I have one that is paid. The paid ones go with the memberships. Okay. Or the SPX playbook. If you want to grab hold to the product, I need to put that on here. That SPX playbook is a $27 product that teaches you how to trade the power hour strategy that I created for SPX, right? YouTube channel here, main website, and ebook for credit spreads versus debit spreads. All of that can be found at the E2T-freebies website. All right, you can find all of that over there. Let's go on down. I think we're ready to move it. We need to move it. Talked about the membership. 0 DTE. We actually do some 1 DTE and even some 5 DTE stuff on SPX and XSP. We focus on just those strategies mainly because I know that if we focus, we can increase our profits. When we're looking at just one thing, we can get really good at just one thing. There's a lot to be said for diversity and diversifying your account. I get that there's a lot to be said for that. But I know if you're trading 0 DTE, when you're looking all around here, you're going to miss something. You're going to miss something looking at one thing. Profitable strategy with less screen time, and we can get daily profits to grow our accounts. Trading, training, support, all of that. We actually going to trade together today. I love our trading together on Fridays. Oh my God, we enjoyed it. We have such a good time in there. Sometimes it's just quiet. We sit there. Other times we just chilling and talking and having a good time. E2T Trader's Declaration. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses and my account is growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen. All right. Okay, so you got about 23 minutes before the market opens. I've said all I needed to say and gotten us all prepped and ready for the morning. Go and do whatever charting you need to do. Look at whichever you need to look at. Set your closing orders, which is what I usually do in this time. I go set my closing orders. I think about that. I give myself a little time to woosah. I talk to the Holy Spirit and say, okay, we trying to do this for the day. I make sure I got my coffee read up. I go ahead and grab me some food because I have it right here at my desk because I know I stay at my trading desk for the majority of the morning. So I kind of get everything around me that I need. I get my water, get me some food. I bring my coffee. I kind of bring everything I need around me because I know I'm going to be here for a minute. And I just kind of center myself and get myself ready to do and ready to focus on what I need to focus on. All right. I find that I do so much better when I try to focus And I know that if your attention is like mine, I have to make myself focus. So this is what I have to take the time to do that. All right. So what we're going to do today, two things. We're going to stay green. We're going to get this money and we're going to have a great green day. All right, everybody. I'll see you all in the market. And for those of you in my community, we're going to get on this Zoom here in a minute. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.